Hey, this is Jeffrey Brown from Market for Yourself podcast, and today's guest is Mark. Mark, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Thank you, Jeff. My name is Mark Berlin. I'm a board certified patient advocate, and my company is On the Mark Patient Advocacy Services.
Okay, so Mark, how did you get into being an advocate? How did that happen for you?
Well, it happened to me. There's two ways. One, long term, I was born with cerebral palsy and endured numerous surgical corrective operations growing up stemming from cerebral palsy, including several from leg lengthening and hip osteotomies. But more recently, I was let go from my full time work, and I was working part time and on disability. And then in 2017, my mother was diagnosed in 2015. My mother was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and she succumbed to it in 2017. Fortunately, I found a very good support group at the Oceanside Jewish Community Center here in New York. And from there, I found an organization called the Pulse Center for Patient Safety, Education, and Advocacy. And she had one of her programs, and I thought this could be a great way for me, which I'm passionate about, I can help others in their journey and be independent and have a meaningful quality of life.
So let's talk about the people that you actually could use your service. What type of people and who are they?
They are older, aging adults who live alone that need some guidance and navigation. Right? Their families are either not in the area or their families have their own families and need someone to be with their older parent or aunt and uncle or neighbor who's older and alone, whether it's medical appointments, finding a specialist after a new diagnosis, assisting with a bill or a claim that's not covered by their insurance, or help with transitioning from a skilled rehab center back home, making sure items are in place like ramps, grab bars, bed railings, medical alerts, things of home health care, companion, things of that nature.
So is there any administrative tasks too that you do for them? Uh,
I can't, well, I always do an intake form, and I also have an engagement agreement, but I also insist that they have a healthcare proxy signed to make sure that people know who to contact in case of an emergency, or if they can't speak for themselves. We just went through, not it seems like a short time, a long time ago, 2 years of COVID. People were on ventilators, and people had to make decisions. Who do you make a decision for? Who can speak for you when you can't speak for yourself? In addition, I've developed a medical ID card to take with people, which has the important information, including your name, your contact information, any medical conditions, any allergies, medications you're on, emergency contacts, doctors, so that people can be prepared.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of different things. I know when this is happening to someone in their loved one in their family, there's a lot of different things that are coming up and that they're not familiar with. So those are the kind of things that you help them with because you're familiar with those things and then you can support them.
Exactly. And if I don't know, I research and I'll find out the support services that the family will need because someone may have Alzheimer's dementia, some may have a stroke and might need a rehab, and some assistance on the discharge side. Not no two cases are the same.
So Mark, where do people find you if they need some support? They just need some
Uh,
answers and they can't find them.
right. Well, there's a couple of ways. One, my website, which is onthemarkadvocate.com. The other is I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handle is on the Mark Advocate or via Facebook. I'm also part of advocacy organizations, including Greater National Advocates, the Alliance for Professional Health Advocates. I'm also recently joined the board for the Pulse Center for Patient Safety, Education, and Advocacy.
So what's that number behind you? Because I kept the number I know we're yeah, five one. So if
So the
you
first one is my website, onthemarkadvocate.com. The next is my email address, mark at onthemarkadvocate.com, and that's my direct number.
okay. So if you need some help, you reaching, if you're watching this video or you saw this podcast, you can reach out to Mark. and Mark can give you some assistance because me myself is experiencing that with my brother, 83 years old, and there's a lot of things that I didn't know. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast to do information for people can understand the things that they're going to go through if they need some help. They can find it.
Correct. And my mother was my advocate for me during the 20 surgical operation I had early on in life. So when she was diagnosed with a brain tumor, it hit hard. Hit my father hard, hit my sisters, and especially me. And especially the way she was there. She was the rock for the family. So my goal is to honor her memory,
Hmm.
and help others fulfill their destination and help them in their journey.
So, Mark, is there anything in this podcast that you wished I've asked you that I haven't asked you?
Just some other things that I will work with. Not my primary goal is to help older adults age at home and stay in place, but I will also do an assessment of the home to make sure it's safe. All right.
Okay.
If a wheelchair is able to be needed, what other items must needed to be adapted into the home? Whether it's a ramp, whether it's a grab bar, or a bed railing, but other things. Do they need a stair lift? All right. Can a walker fit through? Do they need adjustable chair so they can get up and down easier? Another thing I also offer, which is very important, medical bills. Sometimes after a stay at a skilled nursing facility, you get a bill thinking that you may have to pay. Well, you should never pay the first bill. You should always look at the charges on the bill and what's on the insurance company. And if it was denied, find out why. Hire an advocate. And then the last thing I want to mention, I also offer medical alerts for both in-home and away-from-home options.
So, is that the little pin that you wear? That is that what that is?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
You press a button and you get help.
Okay.
It also has a tracking feature for especially those with early onset dementia, where you could see where they are.
Okay. So, can you give the audience your number again, Mark? So people that
Sure.
just come on.
Mm-hmm.
516-749-6135. Again,
Correct.
516-749-6135.
Right.
Mark, I really
I just
appreciate
want to
you.
mention. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention that my mission is to help support those individuals that want to stay at home. They don't want to go to assisted living. They don't want to move in with their kids. They feel they're going to be a burden, but help them and support them so they can remain independent and remain safe at home.
Yeah, I can tell you that personally, in my experience from my own family, we don't want my brother in the facility and he's at home. So it requires some resources, but if you need some help and you're looking to find the resources, reach out to Mark. Mark can help you find the resources you need. And we really appreciate you coming on, man. I think that this is a really big task. There's a lot more people becoming elderly that are getting older and older in our country, and we just need more
Correct.
assistance in that.
Right. And they need to find resources, and I can be a resource for them to help them in their journey.
All right, man. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank
Until,
you. Thank you for the time. Life might be smoother with a patient advocate by your side.
all right. Until next time, this is Jeffrey Brown from Market for Yourself podcast. We'll see you soon.